Sorry for the wait, folks, but it's time for Season 2 of AniView by what? Dave. I'm Dave. AniView by me. Claymore! Holy shit! It's like Dragon Ball Z and Berserk with a bunch of pissed off Sailor Scouts. It's pretty awesome. It technically takes place after Book 5 of Game of Thrones. Technically. Yes, if your girlfriend were to be in the next room while you were watching Claymore, she would assume you're watching tentacle porn. And she's almost right. There's Yoma! That's what the others are. They're Yoma. It's mostly like Game of Thrones. If you're paying attention to Game of Thrones, when the wall goes, shit goes wrong. They talk about it having 47 territories, which sounds like after the 7 kingdoms fell, they got divided up. So I'm not going to use the word Hulk out, because they don't really... So they Brienne out. When they get all mighty, they get all Brienne in the face. And if you've seen Brienne, it's like there's an army of Briennes. Don't get me wrong, she's badass, but no, seriously, the name Beauty, it's ironic. She's ugly. What is Claymore? Claymore is awesome to watch. It has great animation, great music, fantastic voice acting, and let's not forget the violence. Oh my god, it is violent and kind of dirty. A little dirty. Seriously, they awaken, they're like, oh, I'm awake. That's how I wake up. It's, oh, I'm awake. I'm so sleepy. Yeah, they get hungry after they finish. I get sleepy. That's why I'm not an awakened being. Or am I? They said it was like an orgasm. Not me. They said it. Not me. So the show starts out, there's a monster in this town. So they have to do the only thing they can. Call a Claymore. And this is your first introduction to your main heroine, Claire. Her name is Claire. That's all we got. Claire. Claire's a Claymore. Claire runs into this douchebag, Rocky, and they go on a journey. And you hate Rocky. I'm just going to put it out there. God, you hate Rocky. Everybody else is awesome. Fucking Rocky sucks. Rocky sucks. So what's a Claymore? I'll tell you. A Claymore is a little girl who had their families eaten, who now have monster inside them, so now they go around and fight monsters, and they are monsters, and they can become monsters, and did I mention monsters? Monsters. There's a lot of monsters. Claire, she's your main heroine. It's about Claire and Claire's journey, and kind of Claire's journey with Rocky, but never mind Rocky. Later on, Claire meets up with her BFFs, who are also Claymores, who also have very similar backstories. It's kind of a running theme. There's tragedy in all of their pasts. That's why they're half-breed warriors. There's Media. Media is awesome. She's Phantom Media. Number 6. Denova's number 15. She heals fast. She's pretty cool. You like Denova. She makes friends with Muscle Bitch over here. There's Helen. Helen's number 22. Helen's pretty cool. She's like the most human-looking of all the Claymores. You don't find out crucial information about the entire series until like episode 9. There's a ranking system and they all have a number based on their power and ability. This is also when you find out Claire is ranked number 47 out of 47. Damn. And then there's Rocky. I hate Rocky. He's the most useless character in the entire show. And he's also the weakest character in the entire show. If the show has a deadly flaw, it's Rocky. And his crying, his non-stop, incessant crying. What's Rocky doing around the corner? Odds are he's crying. I think there's 3 whole scenes in the anime where he doesn't cry. At least 3 whole episodes. And he's gone for like 8! I'm just saying. This is what happens when you first meet Rocky. He cries. At the very end of the series, 26 episodes later where they've progressed all the other characters, Rocky is still Rocky from episode 1, crying in the corner. You hate Rocky. Rocky. I love the backgrounds. The backgrounds are amazing. Love the character designs. They all look very similar, but in the similarities, they all look very different. They do this little weird thing with their sword handles. They all have like a color. It looks kind of weird at first because, like, the very first time you see multiple colored swords, it's like red, blue, green! And then Claire has, like, a brown one, so you don't even notice it. You're like, oh, look, there's Claire. And then red, blue, green! You're like, okay, red, blue, and green just showed up. That was weird. I'm nitpicking at this point. It's not that big a deal. So you know what's really awesome about Claymore? The opener. The opener's fucking amazing. I love that fucking badass riff. You're not expecting such good music from a medieval time period. So truth be told, I actually was going to pass this over. I saw the first scene and was like, it's not, it could be good, it could be not, I felt meh about it. And then the opener happened and I was like, nope, I'm in. It gets at least one good episode just based on the opener, because the opener kicks fucking ass. It makes you want to see what the end music is, and the end music is equally as good. So if I was going to give the opener a flaw, it shows way too many of the characters you meet far later in the series. You meet them like episode 18. Episode 1, they're in the opener, and you're like, who the fuck are these bitches? And then you're introduced to all of them. You may as well finish. You only got like 4 episodes to go. Like I said, I'm nitpicking at this point because it's really good. It's good. The voice acting is great, except when they kind of get a little ugly, then their voice acting gets a little weird. That's because they're having to do weird shit with their voice. Especially Claire. She gets a little weird in the voice. I give them a pass. The pacing's a little slow. It's a little slow. It could be a little faster, but then at the same time, once the action starts, it's action time, and that action is not slow. There's shit happening. They're powering up. They're getting ugly in the face. They're having orgasms. Shit is going down. They kind of cut the series into nice little watchable chunks. You could watch like the first 4 episodes because they're all kind of one chunk. Then you can watch the next 4 episodes, which are also kind of one chunk. And then it kind of progresses in like 2s and 3s after that. So they cut it up well. If you don't have a lot of time, you could watch like this story arc and then that story arc and still be caught up. But no, seriously, episode 9, then you tell us we have rankings and orders and power levels and all that shit. I would have gotten it out there. I was definitely confused by the flashback because they don't really tell you it's a flashback. You just think it's extra characters. And by the way, in the opening, Claire and Teresa are crossing swords. That never happens. Ever. We don't know how Yomas came to be. They don't go into that. We don't know anything about Yoma other than they're here, they're nasty, and if you put their flesh in you, you kind of turn into super bitch. I felt it was awesome. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I just watched it again. Obviously, it's not my first time watching Claymore. I loved it. It's so awesome. The music's so good. There's so much powering up. There's so much blood. And there's tons of characters. I could sit here for another 10 minutes just telling you about all the characters you will meet. But I'm not gonna. Why don't you just watch it? I told you about the ones you need to know about. I think you should watch it. I think you should own it. My official rating and my unofficial rating system, own-worthy. Absolutely. Get it. Get it on DVD. Get it on Blu-ray. Watch it on Netflix. It was on there. They took it off, but it was on there. Watch it. Own it. You will enjoy it. It is on Hulu if you don't mind reading. It's a preference. Nobody cares. They do sound a little more like little Japanese girls having orgasms in the Japanese one. I'm just saying. This is AniView by Dave. I, of course, am Dave. If you have any questions, comments, confusions, suggestions, put them below and I will get back to you. See you next time. If they did want to put a Yoma in you, would you let them? You do get kind of crazy powers, according to the anime. You want to be all stretchy? You want to be all fast? You want to get all Brienne in the face? Let them put some Yoma in you. You look like you have some Yoma in you. No? Want some? That's terrible, I know, right? Worst medieval pickup line ever.